Okay, fabulous. George Nat, 601. Thank you so much for giving me your time today. It's great to have you both here. I like to start all my interviews off super simply, and it's a check-in, really, particularly as it is, as of the time recording, 8 p.m. on, what day is it? Tuesday. So should all be winding down to some degree. Nat, how are you today? Have you had a good day?
I'm good, yeah. I've just had a very quiet day. So yeah, the best type.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah, I'm
nothing
good.
going on,
Yeah.
yeah?
No, nothing going on really. No.
Uh,
Avoiding doing real work.
Good to hear. George, how about you? How's your day been?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. Surprise visit from the plumbers, but yeah, fine. All good. Loving the new Conjurer top, by the way, mate. Was that from Damnation?
That is literally bought from Damnation, yes.
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
A
Yeah.
surprise
So,
visit from the plumbers. What happened there?
no, my landlady didn't tell me. So
Oh,
it's my day off today. Well, I say day off. I've been working on a remix, and yeah, it's kind of hard to do that with drilling happening, but yeah, it's they nobody tells me nothing.
fair enough. Nat, Nat, if you were to describe an average day in your life, what would it look like?
Doing my real job, which is IT stuff. Well, for the time being, I'm kind of changing job at the end of the year, so I might have a month off. So it's usually, like I say, avoiding work. I did a little bit of a mix down today, which George will be pleased to hear. Sneaky bit of gaming on the side when I've got a quiet moment, just usual stuff. So
On that front, what you're playing at the moment then? What's got your attention game-wise?
I'm about 70 hours into Ark Raiders, and I think it might be my game of the year, which is
Okay.
I'm not an extraction shooter fan, but it's got such a good loop. It's amazing. It's really good.
Yeah, people, I haven't played it, but people are championing it, which is pretty cool to
Yeah,
hear.
it's worth checking, definitely.
George, sum up an
Mhm.
average day in your life, if you wouldn't mind, please.
Well, if you catch me on a Wednesday, I'm at the Chili Shop in Leeds, which is Europe's biggest hot sauce shop. Which is not to say it's big.
I was gonna say I'd hate to see the smallest
No,
You're the
we've got the
smallest hot
biggest.
sauce shop.
We got the biggest range of chili related stuff. It's not just hot sauce, but yeah, that's my normal job. And then other days I do this music lark and journalism and stuff for Devolution magazine. Big shout out to my girlfriend Nikki. I've got to say that. Uh, and yeah, so you know what goes into that, just setting up interviews and doing research and stuff like that. That takes a lot of my time up. And yeah, 601 stuff, which is taking up more of my time than anything else at the moment.
Okay, I mean, it's a positive reason though, but like
Hmm.
Nat has his chill, well, gaming and stuff like that. What's chill for you? How do you chill out?
Mate, it's music. My
Yeah.
hobby is my chill out. Aside from that, watching movies. I watched a lot of movies, I have to say. Last thing I went to see was Predator Badlands. Not feeling it. Not feeling it at all. Gotta say, I didn't want a buddy movie out of it. It was a buddy movie, and if it's a good cop bad cop thing, and Predator's not that. Predator wants to be hiding in trees, being invisible, pulling people's heads off. Just not this like, oh, I've made a friend. Predator doesn't make friends. Anyway, yes. So that's my thing. My feelings on that. That
Fair
has
enough.
games. I have movies.
You got any strong feelings on Predators, Nat?
No, I haven't seen the new one. I thought Prey was amazing. I think that was the
Prey was
best
great.
Predator film that I've seen for a while. But yeah, I haven't seen the new one. Last film I saw was the Running Man remake, which was it was good. It was all right. It was a good 80s style action film. Not quite up to Edgar Wright's usual kind of style, but
Hmm.
yeah, it was a good way to spend a couple of hours.
Fair enough. We are here to talk about music, though, and we are in the post-release period of your brand new album, We Are Not the Same. Out now via SeeHear Recordings and listenable on your streaming platform of choice, whatever that might be. At a time when some might believe that you get to sit back and relax, but it's so often far from the actual case. So tell me, since release, what's been keeping you busy as far as 601 stuff goes now?
Well, ooh, let's have a think. Doing lots of podcasts and interviews like this, which is always nice to talk about it. To be honest, it's kind of George that drives that side of the band. I kind of do the studio-y kind of mix downy kind of stuff, and George is definitely the business head of the band. So it's been all on George, luckily, because I haven't got the patience for it, I don't think. But yeah, it is nice kind of to relax. It's like yeah, giving birth to something. You want to put your feet up for a couple of weeks.
Mm.
But I'm back on it again, mixing down stuff. So yeah, always working, always stuff to be done.
It never ends. How about you, George, then? This post-release period, yeah, you've obviously
Busy.
been arranging interviews and stuff, but has it been a particularly busy period?
It has. It has. Conversely, um, I've I've done some DJing. Nat was with me on the first DJ gig. We're at Manchester with Civil Service and The Grey, and then we did one on Friday. I did one with Hidden Mothers and Dinner Celestial Birds and Pleiades in Sheffield, and that was great.
Mm.
And we've got four remixes on the table at the moment. Is it four now or three? No,
Four, I think. Yeah, four.
yeah, yeah. And I've got my solo stuff as well. I've got an EP out tomorrow with Moonbladder, which is Jason Walton from Agalock.
Mm.
That drops tomorrow, so I've been busy with that.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, bunch of stuff. The remix is the main one, and then once they're out of the way, we're sorting out our live set for next year, full load band. With a couple of faces you'll recognise as well. So
Okay.
yeah, quite excited.
No doubt. Yeah, very exciting. It's fantastic to hear that, oh, it's all go, basically. I understand, of course,
Mhm.
being busy, sometimes you just want to put your feet up, but it's also a positive thing that if you are so busy, because there is such a tension on 601 at the moment. And it's only been a few weeks since the release of the album, which is still time for people to get their ears around it and to start forming some opinions. And it seems like the majority of that has been very, very positive. Now, based off the response that you've seen so far for the new album, how have you found it? Encouraging, satisfying?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we knew. I mean, it's taken a long time to put this together. It's been like 4 years,
Mm.
and you never know how it's going to land. We knew it's the best thing we've put together for a long time, and it was just interesting. Working with other people with the collaborations, it always brings a new angle, new ideas. But it is nice to get that verification from when people actually start to hear it and review it. It's always
Mm.
yeah, it's always nice. Yes, it's been good. It's blown us away, to be honest with you. It's been yeah, really good. Couldn't be prouder.
Still a long way to go. We really need to have this question in like 18 months, 24 down the line, where you can really look back at the period and be like, okay, how was that received? It's still
Yeah,
so soon.
absolutely. Yeah. But I mean, the initial
Mm.
feedback has been great.
George, why do you think the album is resonating with so many?
To be honest with you, I'm surprised because we really rolled the dice on this album. It's
Mm.
no secret I'm a bit of a metalhead,
Mm.
putting it mildly. And so uh, it was as a result of all of the stuff been doing with Devolution and stuff, interviewing bands. And then sometimes, it's like you make a bond with that person and you stay in touch. And that's definitely the case with the people who are on the record. They all became friends, and I do mean friends.
Mhm.
And so it was just, we needed to do something different. We had a bit of time apart after the last album, and we sort of said we were only going to bring it back if we were going to make the album we wanted to hear. And so that was like a mash of mine and Nathaniel's, like our our different personalities, our different styles, what we listen to, all of that stuff. So we made the record. It sounds a bit weird, but we made it for us. And then I thought, we'll put it out there, and if it catches on, it catches on. I'll do what I do, business end, to make sure we got good PR, etc., etc. And we were fully expecting it to just fall on deaf ears.
Mm.
But then when people were coming back and going, "This is good," it was just like, "Oh, it did work." Yeah, because it's weird when you're writing a record, you kind of go, "Well, I like it, but I'm on it."
Yeah.
It's only when you get that. I don't look for validation as much as I think I do, but it is nice to have validation when people say, "Oh no, no, you weren't mad, like you weren't going crazy. That does sound good." So yeah, it's been great, and the extent of it has been fabulous. It's when I see the reviews from like yourself and Krang and other people who are yet to arrive yet, but they will. It's amazing. It's utterly amazing. Yeah. So 16-year-old me is absolutely doing backflips about the fact that we got into Kerrang. Never
Yeah.
thought I'd have a 4K review. We've only ever been in DJ Mag before. So great. Loving it.
It is fantastic to get that review from obviously such a powerhouse, such an important magazine like Kerrang as well. I mean, it can't ever be understated just how big of a deal it is.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was my Bible growing up, every
Yeah.
Wednesday. Every Wednesday.
Mm.
You know, I had it on order at the paper shop. In fact, Nat worked at the paper shop. He used to sell me them.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, let's talk vision, specifically the kind of vision you had for this record. Can you identify the moment effectively the starting pistol went off? Like this was okay, new album thinking, and you needed to have a vision for it.
Mm. Shall I take this one, or do
Yeah,
you...
you go for that one, George.
Yeah, basically, I've been doing a lot of reminiscing about the fact that the music you listen to in your formative years, like when you're 16, 17, 18,
Mm.
generally dictates, it doesn't stop being exciting. When you're 48 or whatever, you still like that stuff. The stuff that appealed to you when you were 16, you still like it when you're 48. No difference in that. Now, a big
Mm.
record for us, around about our 17, 18-year-olds, was the Judgment Night soundtrack. Absolute quality classic.
Mm.
Nat said it's the best soundtrack for a dog shit movie ever. So, but I love that idea of having that collaborative thing where it's actually two people working on a tune, not in the deathcore sense of it's like 100 of your mates singing one line and getting a credit. It was actually a collaborative process where, we wrote the tunes together. And I love the idea of having that shape the album. I mean, a lot of it was already written by us, and then we get the guys in last minute, and then we do internet tennis on, the different parts to get it all chiseled into shape. But yeah, the vision was to make an album that was me and Nat, and also cemented our friendship. The main goal of the whole album, I think, is friendship. It's about
Mm.
friendships that have been made and old friendships like mine and Nat's that have been around for going
Don't
38.
say. Don't say.
Yeah, a lot of years, a lot of years. I've known Nat since I was 8.
Mm.
So it was just it was a pretty wholesome experience, really. And the idea was just to make it like it was our last record ever. It was an all or nothing thing. We had to just put our personalities on a plate. And that's what we've done, and it's worked. And I'm immensely proud of how it's turned out.
Is it fair, Nat, to say that you understood that vision as well, that it was something that was clear to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we'd kind of like had the idea of working with. I mean, like on our last album, we had quite a lot of collaborations on there, but that was mainly kind of like more MCs and singers and things like that. And for this one, we wanted to do something different. George had all these new, contacts and people. We kind of tested the ground by doing some remixes for people. We did one for the name escapes me.
Acid Rain,
George. We did one for Acid Rain. We did
Yeah.
no.
the Infernal Sea,
We did one for Infernal. Did two for
two,
Internal Sea,
two for Infernal
just to
Sea.
see if we could make it work. And once we knew that it's kind of like it was working and it was pretty unique. I think that gave us the confidence to, push forward and it did start off as just like an EP, and then it was like, oh, well, there's this tune and there's this tune, and this person's interested in working with us. And it's kind of like a snowball after the first few. People can see that we're serious. Few bands we did remixes and then asked them if they wanted to collaborate just to kind of prove, we weren't all talk and we can actually, produce the goods. And yeah, it was pretty solid. It was nice to do something different because our last few things that we've done has been strictly dance music. So to do something different, get other influences in there is it's always exciting. And it's working with other people. It's just more brains to bounce off each other. So yeah, I was fully on board right from the off when George sold the concept to me, and yeah, and it's worked. It's really worked.
But considering your rich history and the expectation that comes with a history like that, did you have any pressure to kind of initially be the defined 601, or did you feel very free to experiment?
Well, we had some very interesting conversations with record labels and stuff. I think a lot of our old colleagues and stuff in Breakbeat thought that we'd gone a bit berserk because we could have just like phoned in another We Do bass and done quite well out of it. Um, but it became like a machine to us after a while. We were just we knew how to write the tracks. It was becoming a formula as such or something like that. We needed a shake up because at the end of the day, we don't come from dance music really.
Mm.
Nat and I sort of came together through industrial music and ambient techno and like very punk rock backgrounds. And so this was more going full circle and actually getting to the root of what actually makes us tick. So we had conversations with labels that shall remain nameless when Image was brought up. Like, would we wear masks? That was mentioned once. No is the answer. Um, we had conversations with labels that we had known who said, "Oh, I like the bass line on this tune. Can you just like strip all the guitars out of it?" It's like no. So we really had to stick to our guns. But it came out all right in the end. But it made us feel more and more nervous the more we went on because we did have conversations with big labels, but they all came with caveats. So
Mm.
yeah.
How exciting was those early experiments, that early experimentation when you were effectively finding your feet doing this new thing?
It was good, yeah, because it's not something that really that many people have done. I mean, obviously you've got there are bands that will do like a bit of metal rock crossover, but they're kind of like, I don't know, I'm trying to think, the Prodigy, they're kind of like in a genre of one. There's them, Enter Shikari maybe, it's slightly different. So when we worked out it worked and it still sounded like us. Yeah, it was really exciting. Yeah, and it was like,
Yeah.
yeah, we can do this. And like I say, it started out as an EP, and I thought, yeah, we could do 4 tracks, see what happens, and then it's like, no, we can do more than this. We should get more tracks together and make it a cohesive thing. So
Well, on that front, George, at what point did you kind of start to notice this is an album now? We have the album structure here, and this is big. This is how many tracks it's going to be, and this is how it's looking.
Well, yeah, like Nat just said, after we'd done like 4 initial tracks,
Hmm.
there was a general feeling with us that this can go further. We could go in many different directions with this. And then there was the idea of, I mean, I'm a big fan of albums. I don't think singles don't really get. I mean, you're one of the only people I know that actually takes time on singles these days.
Hmm.
There's a few people who take time on singles. A lot of magazines just don't even look at them, and I commend you for that. Absolutely. But I've always been an album listener. I like that journey. I like the ebb and flow. I like the ups and downs and all that sort of stuff. I like to be taken into a fully realized vision. And so I've always been a fan of the album. So when Nat was open to doing an album, I was overjoyed because I was thinking like, yeah, we could go a lot of different places, and there's a lot of different people that can bring in different flavors, and turn it into an album. So it was a very exciting prospect for me.
Was it
So
simply that, Nat? Sorry, go on, George. You
yeah,
carry on.
I was going to say so much so that I think we're already talking about our next one. So you know,
I know how this goes. There's no talking about any current project without wanting to talk about what comes next from said project. I'm going to keep you focused though, because now I wanted to ask you. Right, so like you was it okay? You gone from EP to album. Was it simply, oh my God, we've got so much good music here. This is so we're just vibing so much that I want to keep this going.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just the way the kind of the industry seems to be going. I
Mm,
mean, 4 or 5 years ago, or when we were doing dance music, it was all about if you put out more than one track at a time, uh, what would happen is one track could get traction, everything else would just disappear into the ether. And I think nowadays, with streaming and things like that, it almost feels better to put out enough tracks so everybody can find, there'll be something for everybody in there in one
mm.
go. And it was just, yeah, I felt like we could make a bigger, or made sense that we could make a bigger splash with an album rather than dripping. I mean, we did release, 3 singles leading up to this, but rather than dripping out 12 tracks over a year, or something, it's best just to do it as one, and then you do get that kind of. It's not like it's an album with a story or a journey or anything like that, but it does flow. We took time
Mm.
to make sure that the tracks, the track order took a long time to work out, just to make sure it flows.
Track order took a while to sort out. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. You've got to be careful that you don't front load. One thing that I don't like with records is where it's quite obvious that they put their four favorite tracks at the front, and
Hmm.
then it just dies off towards the end. And because I review albums like you do, Carl, it's like it happens more often than not. And then you begin to see like track patterns. I'm autistic, so I see patterns in everything. But like you see the fact that they'll think, we're not going to put our best track at the first one. We're going to do it on the third one, and or you get the opening one too, or there's several different ways people like do the track listing, and it is quite important. So that's why we put the Tribe of Ghost track at the end, is because it feels like an ender track. It feels like all of the like the guitars are fully realized on it. It's a full-on rock song, and albeit with soca beats. But that was to take us out. But then it made sense to make that the first single. There you go. It's a typically autistic answer.
No,
There you
I remember when realizing that that was the final track in the album, thinking, "Oh, this was a single previously," but it makes so much sense when
go.
you listen to the album. It does work
Mm.
with its positioning, but it is, you said, it's a journey, particularly as well that one that relates to collaborations. You've mentioned the number of collaborations you did on this record already, and the question I've got surrounding that really, it's about deciding how you decided who would be a good fit for
Mm.
what you wanted to do. You know so many artists, you know some different people, George, and no doubt you do as well, Nat. But how did you decide who would be a good fit?
Well, it started with we started with someone who's tried and tested, which is Madrush MC, who was on our last album. We love that guy. I mean, the way it works out, he'll probably be on every album, but he's our go-to guy. Very well respected in the drum and bass circuit. So that was kind of like an easy fit. That was fine. And then I think next up was Jay Butler, just because I wanted to have a proper like British rock vocal on there. And Jay's vocals are fantastic, and I've liked him ever since Smash TV
Hmm.
and Grand Theft Audio, and so it was the idea came from like the obvious thing to do for in dance music when you've got a sort of anthemic track like that is to get a female vocal on it. But I like it when you flip that, and I wanted a girl for the angry track, which was Fake Your Death, and then have a boy do the sort of like the melodic kind of almost poppy song. I say
Hmm.
poppy, it's more of it. When I say poppy, I mean pop will eat itself actually, because it reminds me of that.
Okay.
That was our sort of like stab at sort of Grebo dance. But brought up to date a bit. But yeah, so as it was going on, it started making more sense. And then Kieran, I wanted to do something with aggressive vocals, but like to hark back to the industrial music that Nat and I liked as kids. And so I thought, like, why don't we push it the whole way and just get like a death metal vocal on it? Um, Albeit he does go up and down on it. And that works out really well, and that was really hard and aggressive. So they were the first few tracks we wrote for the record, and yeah, it worked out really well. I think. Oh yeah, Luke. Yeah, we were going to get a different bass player on, and then we got Matt Benetton to do the Outrunner one. It was going to be Luke, who was previously in Pupil Slicer, but he got busy doing Damn Him, I believe. But yeah, it just all came together. Jake Harding, also, I'd heard him with Gravelines, and he had this really good croon on him, and it was kind of like a post-punky sort of thing. And I really wanted to do a track with a sort of post-punk vibe. So that's how that one came about, Fade Out. And he really delivered the goods on that one. So yeah, it kind of came together like that. It was more like we were picking, we want to do that vibe, whose vocal would do that. There were a couple of names on the wish list that didn't, who were too busy, but we might return to. But yeah, no. It was just based on the vibe first, and then who's got a voice that would fit that vibe, and who am I mates with? Basically,
Always helps. Makes it easier to ask, doesn't it?
Yeah. So we send them the tune first, and then they'd say whether they could do it or not, whether they
we're gonna
were
ask.
feeling it or not. You know.
We've got to ask the question now. Dream collaborator, then I guess with what you do in 601 specifically, Nat, dream collaborator.
Oh, crikey. That's a hard question. I don't know. George, you answer this one while I have a think.
Run the Jewels.
No.
Oh yeah, I'd go for that as well. Yeah, or yeah.
Yeah, my previous answer to that question when we were asked on the last album was Benji Webb.
Okay.
But we did actually do a remix for Skindred, but it hasn't seen the light of day yet. And I don't know if it will. But we did do that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Run the Jewels would be amazing. Backwash. As for like people in the metal world, yeah, Callous Boy singer. Forgotten his name now. That's going to kill me. But yeah, the guy who sings for Callous Boys. If you listen to their latest album, he's got some amazing range. It would be really fun to work with him. Oh, Mike Patton, of course. Mike Patton.
Yeah.
Mike Patton. Yeah, there you go. No, I want to work with Mike Patton. No one else.
There it is. No, that's fair. I gather you, as far as collaborations goes, if it works for you, you'll work with anybody, right?
If we like them, we've got to be fans first. You know, it's the same thing as the remixes. If we've not backed remixes because like we're not going to try and chisel it into the 601 sound. It's got to be, you've got to hear something in the tune that makes us go, oh yeah, we could really, you know, do a good version. First and foremost, and it's there's no point in just like pushing stuff out just because. And same with people we work with. First and foremost, you've got to work with them, and so you've got to have a good rapport. You've got to have a good working relationship. You've got to, you know, you've got to want to talk to those people and be creative with them. You know, it's yeah. So the voice, obviously, the skills come first. All that sort of stuff. Like in the case of Ari from Hidden Mothers, I loved I love everything that Hidden Mothers have done, but their last album in particular, and Ari's contributions to the guitar sound and stuff. Because I've seen them, God knows how many times now. I know the bits that Ari does, and I knew that it would work in the context of what we had planned for that tune. And it helps. He's an old school breakbeat fan from back when we were doing clubs in Sheffield, and apparently he used to go to the same clubs that we used to DJ at and stuff like that. And so yeah. I mean, obviously, sound like-minded individuals who aren't going to be mercenary about things. And we're not writing anyone's solo single. It's a band thing,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, they're the important things, I would say.
Yeah, completely fair. Now, when you kind of reflect on the "We Are Not the Same" journey, the creative journey of the record, what was the most challenging part of making it for you?
It's just I'm used. Well, let me think. So I'm used to just mixing down dance music, not particularly a lot of vocals as well. So it's really kind of stretched my technical abilities
Mm.
because guitars take up such a massive amount of frequencies of a tune. To actually carve out a space for them, it can be tricky.
Hmm.
So yeah, it was definitely the challenge was pushing ourselves further on the production than we have done in the
Mm.
past. Yeah, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. Normally, I can't listen to the music I make for it has to have like a 6 month kind of buffer, and then
Hmm.
I'll listen to it and I'll go, oh no, it's actually all right. It's okay. But these tunes, I can listen to them without cringing, and yeah, I am super. I can't express how proud I am of how they turned out because yeah, well, I think we did exactly what we aimed to do and set out to do.
That is
Yeah.
fantastic because as well, what an incredible learning experience as well for you. Um, but George, I kind of jumped in there, but I also would love your answer as well in that in regards to what you found particularly challenging.
Well, it following on from what Nat said was it wasn't even that we wanted to mix in guitars and that was challenging in itself. We had a way we wanted to do it as well, which was like a personal bugbear of mine. It has been that dance music and metal have met before many times.
Mm.
It's not unusual, but one of the elements always suffers over the other one. So if it's a
Hmm.
dance act using guitars, they still push the bass so much that the guitars are just a tinny kind of wrapping on the top. Or if it's a rock band using electronics, they're like a little afterthought on it as well. So I wanted it to cohesively work together where each element gets as much space in the mix as the other one. So the guitars sounded like full-bodied guitars, and the beats got their time to shine, and it sounded like a band sort of sound. Same way you'd mix down a band rather than an electronic act with guitars. I wanted it to sound like the whole thing was jamming in the same room together. So that was the other thing that we did was to try and that's why it sounds a bit different to other dance music, metal sort of crossover stuff, is because we tried to make it sound like a cohesive unit. So Nat's absolutely like been pushing himself and like working hard on the mixes and stuff like that. And I've been trying to give him good content that will you know, benefit like good guitar tones, like approach it with my metal knowledge as well as my in electronic knowledge, that I know what tone is, you know, like what works and what doesn't, what will sound tinny, what will sound a bit too like thrash from the 80s, you know. It's just stuff like that. So I was really happy that we managed to make it sound like a cohesive whole. And I'm really, really looking forward to seeing how we can take that live now. So yeah.
Incredible challenges, but you rose up, you met them, and the end result speaks for itself. But obviously, with such a, well, you described it at the beginning, 4 year journey, 4 year creative journey of this
Mm.
album, there'll have been a lot of high points as well. Favorite moments, basically, of that journey, I'd love to pick your brains on. Take it away. Whoever wants to start with that. Some of your favorite moments of the creative journey of this album.
Hmm. Do you want to take this now?
The create well, I don't know about the creative journey, but I mean, it's definitely post-release. Seeing the singles get picked up on playlists, Slipknot's playlist and stuff like that. It's like
Cool.
crazy. It's just a validation, because you do this thing blind really for 4 years. You don't know how it's going to be received.
Mm.
So to actually do it and it be worth it at the end, it's that's the high point for me. Yeah, and just what's actually the music that's come out of it as well. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Long may that continue. How about you, George?
I'm going to get a bit mushy on this. The high point of the whole thing has been working with Nat. It's been and our friendship and the way that's sort of like it's this album is like no other album that we've made. This is actually album number. How many is it if we include in Smashing Grab? One, two,
4, 5.
five. Right. So we've been and a lot of the other records, especially our last one we did bass, quite stressful situations where it was like we were fighting against time, we were fighting against clock, we were fighting against each other sometimes. This has just been so harmonious and lovely. And mine and Nat's friendship's stronger than it's ever been. And I think in a 30 plus year time span to be able to say that, I think is the highlight. Because we've had some mega highs and mega lows, and so that we've come back with like pretty much our strongest record in the last 30 years is like that. That's my high there. I said to Nat when we'd finished it, I said it could like not even stream one copy, and it's still a triumph in my eyes because we made it, we did it against all the odds. So
Well, if we're talking about that 30-year career, you've seen so many changes in the music industry, and here you
right, yeah.
stand still. And it's a bit of a wreckage these days, and you kind of stand there surveying it, and you're facing the same challenges as everybody else's, which is to try and get people to hear your music, put what you're putting out there. Do you have a strategy, like a way of thinking that in a way to push this album as hard as you can?
Be unapologetically ourselves about it. We've
Mm.
spent so many years doing what we thought was expected of us. And it turns out that the best thing we could possibly do is just be true to ourselves. Strategically speaking, I mean, there is always a bit of strategy when you do a record, but like the order in which we released the singles was strategic.
Hmm.
There was thought behind it, that the first track should be the most metal track because we are basically we've jumped genre without jumping genre. We jumped audiences, but not changed a little, but not massively. There was always a bit of like metal influence in everything we did anyway. It was just wasn't done with guitars. It
Hmm.
was just done with keyboards instead. But so yeah, strategically we did want to totally change our landscape, totally change the people we were playing for wanted to be people like us, which is we are part of the metal crowd. You will see me at the metal gig. It is those people. Um, so it's not just metal, it's like when you go to ATG or when you go to 2000 Trees or whatever, it's like the lines are so blurred these days. But yeah, there was a
Mm.
bit of strategy in the who we use for press. Got Since Always, which is, if people don't know, it's Employed to Serve run that. Well, it's Sammy and Justin from Employed to Serve, and that was partly strategic, but partly because I get on with Sammy just so well, and he bought into the whole album like from like ages ago when it was still demos,
Okay.
and yeah, so there is a little bit of like we had to sort of change a couple of things, but it was only in regard to which PR we used or, which order the singles came out, just so that people didn't go, oh, it's just another dance single. Why should I listen to that? So we put out the more metal one first. So people go, oh, that's interesting. Maybe I should give the whole thing a bit of a try. So yeah, there was a bit of a strategy there. But as we go forwards, the only strategy is to play a lot
Mm.
and to put out another album sooner rather than, well, I say sooner rather than later. I mean, probably in a year.
Yeah, give it some time. A little
Well,
bit of
yeah,
time.
but the next one's got a completely different. Well, it's not going to be as collaborative. We'll put it that way, because that was the
Okay.
thing that took all the time. But I think the next one's going to be about uh, me and Nat, really. Uh, but a lot more guitars, I should imagine.
Well,
But
the you've always talked about in this as we've chatted here. You've talked about the future in such a positive way, in such an excited
Mm.
way as well. And one of the things you mentioned before was obviously bringing this to the live arena. So looking into 2026, what can you share about your plans really in regards to playing live?
I think I can now confirm who's playing live with us because I spoke to one of them just before I got off the phone. So it's going to be Ari from Hidden Mothers. He's going to be joining us on guitars live.
Hmm.
He's not. These are live guys. They're
Yep.
not. They're not joining 601. They're going to be playing the live shows with us, so we can bring this all to life. And Matt from Din Celestial Birds is going to be joining us on bass. Those two guys shouldn't come as much of a surprise, but yeah. So the idea is with the live set, we're not going to have a drummer. We're looking after drums because that's obviously a large part of what we do. I'm going to be also playing guitars, but not in a way that people would imagine because I have to have spinal surgery soon, and it's rendered my riffing hand, my thumbs absolutely ballsed up, so the nerves go right round to the back of my neck. So that's all going to be operated on. So instead of saying no, I won't play guitar, I've modified a country lap steel guitar, and I'm going to be playing that with a slide in drop D tuning because gent bands played like with one finger all the time. So I've just
Mm.
put a slide on, done the same thing like that, and it's going to be on a keyboard stand with my keyboard, and I'm going to be doing guitar lines like that, and it's been amazing because it's thrown out a load of different sounds that I wouldn't have normally found. So that's pretty cool. Lots of effects involved, stuff like that. So it should be quite exciting to do.
Mm.
Yeah, and maybe depending on which town we're in, if there's someone else who played on the album, they might join us or something.
Okay.
So
Yep.
they're going to be more like events as well. It's not going to be like we're going to tour the arse off it. It's going to be these are going to be sort of like strategically placed events with other people on the bill and stuff. And then in between, still doing DJing. That's going to be the way that we just keep it going because like doing the live sets is going to take a lot of logistics.
Mm.
But the DJing's just going to be constant for me anyway. So yeah,
Nat,
that,
do you share the enthusiasm for bringing this to the live environment?
Yeah, I mean, we've done it before.
yeah,
We've played our stuff live before, so it's kind of like we know what we're doing. It's just the doing, and then the yeah. I enjoy playing live. I prefer just to be in the studio, but I will make the effort. So yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it. Should be good. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, we did like we've done Glastonbury before, and
Yeah.
We did Glade Festival playing live. Um, we played Beat Herder a few times, and yeah, it's the live show was actually way easier to get booked for than the DJing was because it was just so different.
Mm.
So yeah, it's actually a bit more of a draw as the live show. But yeah, we did it on our third album, Dirty North. We toured that live quite extensively up and down the UK, and it was
Mhm.
always good fun. It was easier than having some, mind you, it was easier than taking requests as a DJ. Not to say that never happened. We had people still give us requests when we were playing live.
Oh, I can picture that. Amazing. Well, fingers crossed you end up down my way in 2026, if that's possible. That would be cool. I've got one more before you go, before I let you go on the rest of your evening. And really, it's about success. Ideally, we want this album to be as successful as possible. But what that means is questionable. You, no doubt, each will have your own measure of success and how you define it. So, looking at We Are Not the Same, what would make that album successful for you?
I just want as many people to hear it as possible. The way the music industry is, it's not about making money really. It's just about getting your music out there and heard and appreciated.
Yeah.
I, I would echo that with the fact that success for me is feeling happy and feeling like it's been worthwhile and just being able to be proud of it. That would be success. But I want as many people to hear it as possible. But like what Nat said, it's not about the money. If it was about the money, we would have split up about 20 years ago, when we actually did make money. Um, you know, yeah, so the success is like when people come up and tell me that they like it, that's success for me. And whether it's 10,000 people turn up, I don't care. If I'm happy to be playing the music and I'm happy in myself, then you're here for a good time, not for a long time. So that's success, I think. Yeah.
And there it is. And on that note, we'll wrap this up. We Are Not the Same is out now, literally wherever the hell you need to listen to music. Go check it out. I am not normally in this genre. I'm one of the people that you've drawn in with the different things you're doing here. So if I can do it, so can you, folks. George, Nat, you give me 45 minutes of your time. I really appreciate it.
No worries.
No worries at all. Cheers, Carl. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Mate.
Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does help us out. You can find us at gbhbl.com and across all social media platforms. And if you really want to give us a bit of extra support, please consider buying us a cup of coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you.